Yes, everyone, welcome back. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Hopefully, some of you are about to knock off. Remember early finish Fridays? Friday's the longest day of the week with me. So I don't get an early finish. I have like a 14-hour day on a Friday. So Friday, I do not manage to get the early finish Fridays. But I do miss an early knock-off Friday. 11 o'clock, 11:30. Fucking out of there. About out of hell. Hopefully, some of you are getting that underway. Happy days. All the rest of that sort of stuff. Right, we're talking... Sesko. This seems to have escalated pretty quickly. Is it a valid escalation or is it a load of old rhubarb? John Murtough has met with Sesko's agent. You would assume that feels like an escalation of what's going on with him. So there was initial reports the other day that came out from Romano and Viskovic, and they were expressing that the interest that United had in Sesko was real, and there's a bit more started to come out. Romano said last night there's been direct talks with his agent. Lucas also reported that Murtough has met Sesko's agent directly. So there's clearly something in this. Now, from what I can gather, I think there's a bit of sounding out going on. I wonder if developing talks over what's going on with Cristiano, which we're going to cover in a bit, might escalate what's going on with him. If they've gone and spoke with his agent, got his wishes, his desires, if he's indicated like, yeah, actually, do you know what, I would be up for coming to United, then there could have been some options there, I think. As it stands, I don't think there's anything to necessarily get excited about as it stands right this second. I think we're just doing preliminary talks, but I like... I genuinely like that we've moved on this seemingly pretty quickly, because it was nothing days ago, and now we've actually met his agent. I like that. I like the pace at that moving. Nicholas Nader in the comments there says, very curious to know what you think about Ronaldo's Instagram response. I'll pull that up in a minute when I talk about Ronaldo. Jokia says, could Sesko be our diamond in the rough? I think he could be. If you've not seen it, go and check out the Scout Report video that I did on him yesterday. There might be a transfer going on here. Liam Priestley says, Charlie Dade and Rami, sign him up. Maybe I've already got his number. If you've not seen that, go and check out the highlights from Paddock against Ramsbottom on Sunday. But yeah, maybe there's moves afoot in that sense. If we're doing transfer talk, I guess we can talk about that. Hamza Abukar says, your use of the F word is a bit off-putting. Well, fuck off then. How about that? Kevin Williams says, watching from Bulgaria. Jordan says, would I have Ziyech over Anthony as a cheaper alternative? Maybe, actually. Cherio says, what's the difference between 19-year-old academy player and Sesko? I think the fact he's 6'4", the fact that he's proven himself playing top flight football for a season, I say that's the difference at the moment. And it's not to say that any of our academy players could not get there, but he's there and they're not currently there. Miles says, hit by a truck yesterday, now watching from a hospital bed. You're not having a good day. I guess it's better than yesterday though. Every cloud and that. Chris says, Sesko is damn good. Saw him play a few weeks ago against Ajax. Scored 2. Little Dan McNamara says, have the Paddock owner envelopes been posted? Yes, they have. Most. Is it most? I'm not sure what number they're up to. There's literally like a whole team of elves in the back there posting them out. Do you want to see mine? Mine's right here. Like my number? So yours should be winging its way to you very, very soon if you've got one. If you've only just become a member, if you was after the first 1,000, we have to order them in batches. So the first 1,000 have been ordered. Some of those are kicking on. Nim says, those stats aren't brilliant. No, they're not brilliant, but 17 goals in 30, or 17 goal involvements in 36 with 155 minutes per goal last season is not terrible either. And I would say to you, don't judge a striker by what they get in their first season. You only get the occasional teenage phenoms. That's not usually how most strikers sort of enter their careers. You would have written off Alan Shearer after his first season. I think he might have had a season where he played 38 games and scored 1. I think I'm right on that. Ruud van Nistelrooy didn't score any serious number of goals until he was at PSV. Heerenveen, and was it, where else was he before Heerenveen? Didn't really score. So don't judge him by that. Judge him by the stuff that you're seeing with him. And that video that we did yesterday, it was, based off the back of one game, but there was some incredible touches in there from him, and some really, really good stuff. Den Bosch, that was it, Dennis, yeah. Abhishek says, hi from India. Hello. We should not wait for another year and let the price soar. Buy him and loan him back if needed. Happy days. I like that. I do like that as an idea. Any news about possible youngster loans, says Zach, or is Ten Hag planning on using some of them next season? I think Ethan Laird could be looking at going somewhere. There was talk of Ajax. I think there's now talk of Watford. So, yeah, I think that's the one. Let's have a look at the next one that we're going to talk about then. So, who is the next one? And, of course, it's the Daily De Jong. So, what's happening with De Jong? Well, Barca president Joan Laporta has said Frenkie wants to stay and the club too. Another thing is the talks we have, because there is a new salary structure. We find a high wage bill, hence we have to talk to the players. We'll do our best to keep him and hope he will also do everything he can to stay. It's a saga at the moment. Barcelona have signed everyone and their dog, and they can't register any of them until they do a restructuring of salary. How are they going to do a restructuring of salary? They're going to either bully him into taking a lower salary to stay, which is immoral, if not entirely legal, but definitely immoral, or they're going to force him out of the club to go elsewhere. They need to sell him, especially with Rafinha and Lewandowski. Or he needs to almost play for free, essentially. The longer it goes on, I think the more chance he's got of actually staying at Barcelona. But I don't know how that resolves them registering the likes of Rafinha and Lewandowski. Andy Mitten said, hasn't been given any evidence that De Jong wants to join United, which is a fact. That is factual. There is no current evidence. Think of that. The word is evidence here, not opinion, evidence. But I think United's actions tell you that. United bailed on Timber with a quickness when we found out that Timber wasn't interested in coming to United. And then all of the talk surrounding De Jong not wanting to come, yet we've still persisted in chasing him. Does that seem weird to anyone? I think, as the feeling has been all along, De Jong's just protecting that 17 million. Or trying to protect that 17 million. Barca playing him centre-half is a very interesting one. There's some fuckery afoot here. It really does feel like Barcelona are trying to force him out of the door, but everyone's playing the PR game. Barcelona are saying, oh, yeah, we want him to stay. You want him to stay and play for nothing. There's too much fuckery afoot, I think, here with this transfer. The longer it goes on, the less likely, and certainly the less useful it is for United. United need to get him in and get him playing with these players so we can get cracking. That's what we need. But yeah, that is a really, really interesting one with it, I think. I mean, what's your guys' take? Josh says, Barcelona, we want Jong to stay. Also, Barcelona, we're negotiating, accepting deals for him to leave. Ash says, LVG proper shat on us regarding the Timber transfer. Yeah, but he's not coming out and saying, why is Barcelona playing one of our best midfielders at centre-half, is he? Will says, at what point do you think we should move to alternative targets if De Jong keeps dragging his feet? Don't know. Toby says, Steve already accepted in my mind he won't come. If he does, great. Grayson says, with drama, De Jong, hang on, where's that one gone? People expect him to be much better than he actually is. I think he's very, very good, though. James Woods with a super chat there says, Steve, would it be worth getting Sesko loaning him to Salzburg for next season? Barca or Crooks, any other club would have been deducted points for finances and actions. Honestly, I think he starts for us. I wouldn't be bothering loaning him unless he really, really wants to loan or somehow Ronaldo stays around. Nick says, Steve, do you think we'll see Murtough madness soon? Well, there's someone in the MEN said that United are interested in 4 players, none of whom being a right back, which is interesting because I think we need a right back, in all honesty. I think it was a backup goalkeeper, and does that mean Tom Heaton's going? It was 2 forwards and another midfielder. I could agree on a striker and a winger. I think we'd all agree on that. I think we all can see the need for another midfielder after about 19 that went in the summer. But I also do think that we probably need a fullback. DWM says Delo is decent. You can massively improve him. You can massively improve him. Retro says, what time is Ten Hag's presser? Not sure. Chris says, does the fact that it comes from the MEN mean we can count it as bollocks? Probably. PKC the first says, love the hard work that goes into putting these videos. Get a beer on me, lad. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. UL says, get under Herrera back on a free. Hey, I'm just saying, I was going to put it out there that Sal Niguez is available. Dave says, watching from Barbados. Excellent information as always. Oh, what a treat. What time is it over there? It must be pretty, 7 a.m? Something like that over there. Caletso says, I think it's about money, so we're choosing the attackers and the mids. Ash says, it may end up working in our favour the late we get into the window. Barca might have backed themselves into a corner. Legally, De Jong hasn't done nothing wrong. That's what... Tom says, Saul wasn't great for Chelsea. It doesn't matter. He's still been our best midfielder. He's a lot better than Scott McTominay. Chris says, hey, Stephen, Bali here, 365 days, 33 degrees. Bali's sweaty hot, though, isn't it? We stopped off in Bali on the way over to Singapore from Australia, and it was absolutely dripping off us. And it was like 9 o'clock at night. It was just sweaty ball situation is what it was. Joe says, Charlie did, and here we go soon. I haven't spoken to him yet. I just got his number. Like I said, why don't you lot go and do me a scout report on him? So number 12, I think he's a number 12, that played against us on Sunday in the latest Paddock video. What do you reckon? Does he start for us to make our bench? You guys let me know in the comments. Ian says Scott is on 20 grand a week as well as the low. Glazers won't renegotiate until the last year. Butter Gollum says Sesko is a Lukaku. It's a shout. Did you get an email about the dugout change for the game on next Sunday? What? What does that mean? Anyone know what that means? Do I reckon Ghana is back up to De Jong? Could be. But Ghana plays for United and he plays for Barcelona currently. Is there anything to be said for getting Wesley Sneijder in on a free? Wesley Sneijder is bigger than me at the minute. Have you seen him? He looks like he ate a Wesley Sneijder. Stephen, the only news anyone cares about here is the weather report from Manchester today. I'll tell you the weather report from Manchester. It's cloudy as fuck. It was raining this morning. It's dried up. It's probably gonna rain again later. We're training at Turn Moss for the next 6 weeks while our new training ground gets sorted out. So we're going to get soaked. For those who are not aware, Turn Moss sometimes, usually about November time, looks like a fucking boating lake. People are on there with literal canoes. And that's where we're training. Brilliant. Nick, yeah, I've just had a text here off Dre, and he says the home and away dugouts have swapped. I don't know how I feel about that. That's weird, isn't it? It's very interesting that that's happened. Whose decision was that? And why have they done it? Have they done it to be closer to the Red Army in the corner and the tunnel and put the away team closer to their fans? What's the reason for it? Anybody know? Very interested to see. Notch says Turn Moss was swampy in August 2020. I was there. Yeah, it's always soft underfoot. Always soft underfoot. I'll be rocking. Hang on. I am a fucking trainers and chinos touchline kind of manager. and I sometimes coach in jeans because that's what I do. But tonight I will be debuting Kapow, the new Puma Kings. Look at that, fresh, box fresh. But because it's going to be so soft out there tonight, I think I'm going to have to wear boots. Mighty Man says Wesley Sneijder is signing is vital for success in the coming years. Pick my first 11 against Brighton. We will see, obviously. Ryan Yanni says proper football boot that. You knows it. Did it rain a lot there? Did it rain a lot? We might be in canoes when we're doing our fucking drills later. Mady says, could it be that Maguire's captaincy that's pissed off Ronaldo? I don't think so. I don't think so. Very interesting. Did you hear what Ten Hag said about Maguire and the grief that he's been getting? And he replies to it by saying, well, if he performs, he won't get grief. What a fucking brilliant response. I love that. Ant says, I have an original 90s white pair of Puma Kings. Brilliant boot. Puma Kings are top, aren't they? Dan says, how's training going after the operation? I pulled my soleus. Really interesting that if you look into the reasons. So you got two muscles in your calf. You got several muscles in your calf, but the two main ones, you got your gastrocnemius, which is the grapefruit-sized thing at the top, like the big muscly part. And then you have one that connects the back of your knee to the top of your Achilles, and that's the flatter one. It's like a bit like a steak. And that's the that's called the soleus. And the soleus can go. It can actually go if you just change your trainers. How mad is that? But it can go when you go and increase the intensity of your working out. So post-operation, I've gone to 2-a-day training, and I was doing 400-meter intervals. I'll throw this at you as well. I was running 90-second 400-meter intervals. At my fucking weight, that's quick. Did 3 of them. Felt fucking fine. Felt really strong, actually. Was breathing well. And then on the 4th one, felt a little bit loose as I was running. Like, didn't quite feel right. And then about 200 meters into it, I just felt something move in my calf. So I pulled it. So for the last week, nearly 10 days, I haven't done any running, no gym, just been trying to rest. But I start on Monday with a big fucking stretching rehab type program. Loads of shit to do. Adrian Barker says Puma Kings and Adidas World Cup, best football boots. Yeah, I love a Copa Mundial. Copa Mundial is basically the Adidas version of that boot. Peter Knight says, would you not be worried Ronaldo will really affect how Ten Hag plays? Also, number 21 is free, ready for De Jong. If we sign a Dutch player and give him the 21, after what happened with RVP when we give him the 20, and it strikes again, my God. Notch says, so basically you're out injured. Yeah. Sadly. With no time for injuries as well. So someone says, what did Ronaldo say? Okay, let's talk about Ronaldo then. Now, let me just pull it up for you because I didn't have this prepared, but I do know where I can find it. So, here's what Ronaldo has said. Impossible not to talk about me one day. Otherwise, the press makes no money. You know that if you don't lie, you can't get people's attention. Keep going. That one day you got some news right. I think what he's doing is basically saying, you're all full of shit. You have to keep talking shit about me. As the Full-Time Devils Paddock account tweeted earlier, is this the start of damage limitation? Has he come out already and found, after the talks yesterday where they've gone, yeah, you're not for sale and there's actually nobody interested in you, has he gone, fuck, I'm going to have to stay. I better start putting the PR around. Because it's awkward, isn't it, for Ronaldo now? I mean, which games, how's it going to work this weekend? Obviously, we've got a game Saturday and a game Sunday. I would assume you go with a slightly stronger team against Atletico, but I don't know that for sure. You've got 2 matches you need to play. I think he probably plays Ronaldo at Old Trafford, in all honesty. Satvik says, so Ronaldo's staying because he's run out of options. I think that might be the case. Ateria says he's off to Sporting. I can see that being a what's it one. Harry Matthews says we've changed the dugouts this season. Yeah, in fact, Dre's just messaged me and give me a statement on it, so let me just read it. So United wrote a statement. In a new layout agreed with Erik, the home and away dugouts have been permanently switched so that the United manager and staff and substitutes will now be sat in the seats to the west of the halfway line, dugout previously occupied by the away team. Erik approved the move after visiting Old Trafford for the first time in May, and noting how the old dugout was closer to the tunnel and to the half of the pitch where the substitutes warm up. I like it. He's come in and gone, oh, this is the status quo? Cool. This is how I want it. I do like that, actually. I do like that. Jed says Ronaldo isn't playing Saturday. He's doing fitness training. So does that mean he's involved somehow on Sunday? XGen says, when a vibe with 5 shows coming back last season was fun. I can't tell you how excited you need to be for some of the episodes that we've got coming up. I'm going to be getting into it with somebody on there in a big way. I can't hype up how good at least one of the, I'm sure they'll all be good. I can't hype up how good some of these podcasts are going to be next season. You're going to fucking shit your pants. They're that cool. Martin says Erik is a breath of fresh air. Totally have to agree with that. Jed says the long-awaited confrontation. All I'll say is we played a game not long ago, and I tweeted something about a certain someone, and that certain someone saw it and messaged a certain somebody else. He's having it, and we're having it. Are we still in for Gaitan? I don't know. Cherryu says Sir Alex on vibe. I think the plan is, should we ever get to 1 million, that's the interview that we do at 1 million. I think that's the game. And what a fucking way to celebrate 1 million, man. Cooker says, don't be cryptic, tell us. I think some of you have got it in the comments anyway. I got to be a bit cryptic. Till it happens, you got to be a little bit cryptic, haven't you? Anthony says, finally a manager taking ownership for the team instead of being a Glazer puppet. Big time. How many more signings this season? I think we'll definitely get 1. I hope for 2. Not sure if it's more than that. Richard Porter, will I let Joel on the episode with Sir Alex? Ooh, do you know what? How could we? It needs to just be a pure fucking loving, doesn't it, with me, Rio, and Fergie. When we had the opportunity to speak to Wenger, I was like, no, you go speak to Wenger. That's your guy. Like, no. So I hope he would do the same. Sama says, just subbed to Vibe to get closer to Sir Alex if it'll ever happen. Santa Notch says, it's United staff legend Cam Waters who's on as the guest. Cam's hardly featured for us in pre-season. Obviously, like, anytime you see fucking any content at United, it's Cam filming it. And obviously he's been involved in training sessions. I wonder if he's picking stuff up. Because he's not really played too much in pre-season, but he has played very fucking well when he has played in pre-season. So I wonder if he's picking up little tiny bits from being at United training every single day. Pretty cool. Jez says, speaking of Fergie's Jay's claim to fame, I can't take that from him. I fucking absolutely will. Keith says, fits the type of player that Ten Hag likes as a striker. This must be Sesko. Room for development and bags of potential. Notch says, I did wonder that. Yeah, he played against, we didn't air the highlights of the Rochdale game, but he was excellent in the Rochdale game. So I think he's picking up some stuff. He's in the squad for tomorrow, though. So tomorrow's our first league campaign in the Cheshire League. Level 13. We'll see how far we can go in this one. As I said, if you watch the highlights, I'm targeting winning every game. Will we win every game? Probably not. But the target is to go and win every single fucking game, innit? Matthew Taylor says, get rid of Ronaldo now. Sell, but bring on a new striker in Sesko. Ronaldo would probably say Sir Alex Ferguson didn't live up to expectations. Really? Salman says, do I think we should buy Anthony with that price tag? It's a bit spendy, isn't it? To be honest, I'm not too sure about that. James says, can we get Roy Keane on 5? I believe there's complications between Sky and BT. So I think that's difficult, unfortunately. Matthew says, I love Ronaldo to bits, but considering the recent events, I feel that if he wants to leave, let him leave out of respect. He left before we survived, and if he leaves again, we will make it. Reese says, Ziyech for 8 million. Is that how much he's going for? Jesus, that's good value. Brendan Stee, trivia for you. My favourite town in Ireland has a gin distillery. It's called Muff Liquor. There is a town called Muff it's in Southern Ireland, but it's on the north of Southern Ireland, which is a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? I think, is it on the north coast of Southern Ireland? Or the Republic of Ireland? And they lean heavy into the fact it's called Muff, don't they? Like, there's probably no need for a scuba club, but they have a fucking Muff diving club, which is brilliant. Chris says, am I just wondering if CR7 changes his mind and we'll see no one wants him? I think that's the one, you know. Matthias with a super chat says, give us Sesko, would be great recruitment. Aaron Ramsey for free. Big ass wages, though, innit? You want players on the up, not on the downward slope. This feels cancelable. What have Arsenal and the Catholic Church got in common? I don't want to answer that. James Woods says, Steve, will you tell us what Redacted did or said? I said I'd say when he leaves, but fuck him off. No, not just yet. Vegan says, how to beat Atletico vid, be coming later today. Alistair says, if Ronaldo goes back to Sporting, is that likely to be a loan or a purchase? No idea, but I do think that could be a feasible option for him, is going back to Sporting. Sam says, is Sesko really a better option than some cheap Championship striker? Who are you getting for cheap from the Championship? They'll cost you more than Sesko. And yeah, I think he's that good. Does Ronaldo thing remind me of Rooney to Chelsea? No, it doesn't. I think he genuinely wants out. Righty, before we go, get some more questions in. Check this out. Summer is coming and the sun is shining, shirts are off and your balls are smooth. You heard that right. Your friends at Manscaped are here to make your beach balls as smooth as Floridian sand. In summer, you want to kill some cold beers and the barbecues and not kill the vibe with your pubes peeping out all over your shots. And that's why Manscaped has got the Performance Package 4.0 to keep the party in your pants looking crisp and refreshing all summer. Dive headfirst into summer by joining the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for hot guy summer by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off and free shipping with the code Howson. Get it done. And we are back. Aishan says none of us know what we're doing here. Valid. Matthew says, have I seen Ronaldo's comments on Instagram? Yeah, we just touched on them a second ago. Robin says, could Ronnie be used as part of the Anthony saga? We loaned to Ajax buckets of goals in the Dutch league. There's loads of things that make sense, but you don't know what the player wants, do you? Unfortunately. Chris says, Muff is in Donegal, which is about 3 miles north of Derry. Steve, the diving club would be great if it didn't stink like fish. Kishan says, balls cleaner than Matt's first touch. Love it. Matthew says, better out without Ronaldo. And Michael says, any chance we finish fourth next season? We could improve and finish exactly where we are, or even fifth. That's the real worry about all of this, isn't it? That's exactly the worry about it. Dale says, any update on the members app? Yeah, there was a deadline that the developers was meant to hit on when was the 27th? I'm not sure what date we're on today. Today's 29th, and so what was that? It was Wednesday. They missed a deadline, so hopefully it's not too far off. Better having it work than release something that's a load of shit. So it's not too far off. We was hoping to have it done by the start of the season, which is tomorrow, which we've missed. But you know, there's things moving. It just moves a little bit slow. Any developments on a DM if De Jong is off? No, it sounds like United are going all in on him, doesn't it? David says, Steve, when does the 5th place guarantee Champions League? Swear it's from this season. Wait. What? I don't think it does it? Kava says, hello from the biggest fan in Iran. Stay sharp. Cheers, brother. Did Ten Hag's squad at Ajax have lots of injuries historically? Don't know about that one, to be honest. Fifth with a trophy would be a good improvement. Yeah, I'd love to win a trophy. Trophies are top, aren't they? Previn says, how do we get involved in Paddock ownership? It's a great question. Oh, and Mark. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. I'll answer that in a sec. Mark says, got my Paddock certificate today. You're the first person that I know that's got it through the post. Can you tweet us with your certificate, please? And we'll share that for everybody. So, Steve, got my Paddock certificate today. Looks good, and the pin badge is great. Love that my membership number is less than 100. You got in early then. Can't wait to get involved. So if you want to get involved in Paddock membership, so the whole mantra that we're going with is support the club, run the club, own the club. And that is literally what we're doing. You guys, same as what we said before. Up until New Year's Eve, you've got the opportunity to become a founding member of Stretford Paddock. If you Google fan ownership Stretford Paddock, you will find the link, and that will take you to where you need to be. It's going to cost 50 quid a year, or it's going to be £5 a month. Once the app goes, the app will give us the pay monthly option. If you want to have a membership, you sign up. Fan ownership Stretford Paddock. Just Google it. It'll be the top option on there, or check the link. I think it's pinned on Twitter. Go and check it out right there. There's some stuff that we're working on which might have our home or might help us to get our own home. And to do that, we're going to need a lot more members. But there's something very brilliant about it being such an organic, self-driven kind of thing. So if you want to get involved, you will have the opportunity to run the club. We are building so many questions to throw at you guys in terms of how this all works. Like, we've got questions about, you've seen all the different membership numbers. Mark's just mentioned there his number is lower than 100. One of the questions that we're going to put to you guys is, once his membership number expires, if he decides he no longer wants to be a member, what do we do with it? Do we move everyone up one place? That's something that we're going to be putting to the members very soon. At Barcelona, the way they do it is their number one is their oldest surviving member. So the longer you have, the higher, the lower your number ends up going. That's what we like to do. Andrew says, how does ownership work if it's monthly or annual fee? Would have thought a purchase, not a subscription, to become an owner. It's a subscription because hopefully it's a yearly going thing. For those that buy it through the app, you have to be a member for a certain number of months before you're going to get your certificate and your badge and stuff like that, because it costs us more than 1 month's pledge to sort out all the stuff and post it to you and stuff like that. So that's the one. Hazim says, Steve, great work all the time. I'm a junior manager of my football team, as always, inspiring with what you do. Brilliant. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Would I take Paredes from PSG as our DM? Yes. You can literally go to relegated teams and get better midfielders that United have got. Do I think we'll get De Jong in the end? Yes. I think it'll go right to the wire, though. But at the moment, I still feel like we could do it. Frail One says, if we end the transfer window adding Sesko and De Jong, I would rate it a 7 out of 10. Adding a wing or two makes it 8.5 out of 10. Ryan Willis says, can we buy shares in Paddock? No, there's no shares. So it's a community interest company, which means it's owned by his members. Whether we have 1 member or 1 million members, every member has an equal share. You can't sell your shares, so we don't refer to it as shares, but you become an owner. And the ownership is going to entitle you to some extra content. And it's also going to give you the opportunity to vote and shape the future of the football club, and for some of you also to become members of the committee/board and have a real say in what goes on. So that's it. Any more questions like that, hit us up on social media or in the comments below, and I'll try and reply to them. But go check out that game, and maybe we'll be having a look at Charlie Did, and there might be some genuine transfer news in there. I like the look of him, and we'll be talking to him very soon. See you in the next one. Laters.